What's up, everyone? It's the Autistic Scyther here, and this is part 3 of Top 10 Potential Warriors Spin-Offs. That being said, parts 1 and 2 are up on my channel, so if you want to see numbers 10 through 4, I suggest you see those videos, then get back here for this video and the final 3. And oh boy, considering I have a lot of things to say about the previous entries, yeah, that's why this is going to be an entire video involving my top 3 most wanted ones. Oh man. And yeah, there's a reason why it's gonna be big. So let's just get into it, shall we? Moving on, next at number 3, we have My Hero Academia. Yeah. Honestly, I possibly know I'm not the only one with this, as Blazing Knight mentioned this on his top 10 potential warrior spin-offs list. But honestly, when it comes down to it, I think this could be essentially interesting to see in the entire thing, as again, it would be nice to see all of the characters from My Hero Academia in like a warrior franchise. And considering how almost everyone basically has their own quirks, it really does say a lot. So basically, you can essentially see a lot of characters show up. Like, I mean, granted, most of them are going to be like the members of like the students of class 1A, as in like Midori, like Izuku Midoriya, aka Deku, or Bakugo, or Araka, Ida, Todoroki, Yaoyorozu, Mineta for what it's worth, Kirishima, Kaminari, aka Waterhead, so on and so forth showing up. But of course, we could involve other characters like from other students from UA High, like Shinso or Kendo, or even Mei Hatsume. A lot of the teachers and other pro heroes like Eraserhead, and like Eraserhead, Mountain Lady, Midnight, Hawks, Endeavor, Gran Torino, and the hero of justice himself, All Might. As well as even villains like Toga, Gabi, Gentle Criminal, and even Toma Shigaraki. Or like one involving the villains, basically, going through an entire level where you control the villains, like Toga, Dabi, Shigaraki, All for One, and Gentle Criminal, or even Stain. And heck, maybe even characters from the Vigilantes spin-off, like Pop Step, or the Crawler, or even Knuckle Duster. And even with that, you could essentially have locations based on different locations. Like the mountain where the training thing happened, where the UA High training happened, or basically UA High School itself, Dagobah, places like those. But even with that, maybe certain aspects could happen if you have quirks involving the quirks. Like, if Deku uses his quirk too much, he starts to take damage, a reference to his body breaking down. Or Uraraka basically just getting nausea if she uses her quirk too much. The crawler just going out of control if he doesn't have a way to move using with if he doesn't have 3 of his limbs on the ground. Or even in Kaminari basically giving himself a short circuit or turning himself into a waterhead if he uses his quirk too much. Honestly, it would be an interesting way to show it. And it would be funny nonetheless. Especially involving Kaminari. Yeah, I've been dogging on him for a while. It's really kind of my usual thing. Moving on next, at number 2, we have Star Wars. Oh boy! You can understand why this is gonna take so long. Honestly, a lot of these franchises have many different iterations. And no other franchise has had a lot of iterations than Star Wars. And honestly, it really does say a lot. I mean, not only do you have the choice to either play as a Jedi or a Sith, but depending on the role you take, whichever pathway you take, you have a lot of characters that you can essentially control. From the Jedi pathway having the likes of characters like Luke Skywalker, Ahsoka Tano, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Qui-Gon Jinn, Yoda, Mace Windu, the pre-facial turns of, well, pre-facial turn Anakin Skywalker and Cal Kestis. You got characters like C-3PO, R2-D2, and HK-47, Rey, Finn, Poe. Characters like them. And on the Sith, you have the likes of Darth Vader, Darth Revan, Darth Sidious, Darth Maul, Count Dooku. You have Ben Kenobi, aka Kylo Ren. And you got a lot of characters. And even with that, there are characters like Ezra from Star Wars Rebels, or even characters like Cad Bane or the Mandalorian and Grogu. And even with that, you have different areas that could serve as locations or battlegrounds like Tatooine, Hoth, Dantooine, Dagobah, the Galactic Senate, Vestis, just a Cloud City. Honestly, the sky's the limit for Star Wars. But it's not the biggest undertaking that could be a Warriors title. Not by a long shot. That being said, number 1 is the Final Fantasy franchise. Oh boy! Granted, I know we have the Dissidia series as basically a kind of Final Fantasy entry, but if anything, I think Final Fantasy would be one of the biggest and the most well-known to ever have a Warriors title. And honestly, considering how Fire Emblem Warriors didn't have every character from every series, Final Fantasy has its work cut out for it. Because with 16 entries, yeah, we have a lot of characters that could essentially be playable. And oh man, is there a lot. I mean, you got Cecil and his ability, and the fact that he could basically call upon his abilities from either as a Dark Knight or a Paladin. Rydia and her link with the Fey March. You got Kain and his infamous jump skill. Terra and her being an Esper. And her Esper form. Ferris and Ferris being a former leader of a pirate band. You got Sabin and his suplex. Cloud and his iconic Buster Sword. Yuna and her dress spears. Tidus and his blitzball skills. Zidane being a former thief. Sabin and his gunblade. You got Aerith and her usual skills. Tifa being able to beat the ever-living snot out of people. Baron and his gun arm. You got Balthier, another pirate. Another pirate. You got Lightning and a good amount of the main cast of Final Fantasy 13 being Elsie, LCA. You got Noctis, Prompto, Gladiolus, Ignis, Clive. You got Jill, Torgal, Joshua, countless other Sids. And even with the amount of... And that's not counting the villains that could be playable, like Golbez, or Sephiroth, Kefka, Kuja, Ultimisia, Idea, Sin, /Jekt, Seymour Guado. You got Seymour Guado. I mean, heck, even with that, you also have side characters like... You've got side characters like Cypher and Cypher, Setzer, and Setzer, Ultros, and Ultros, Gilgamesh, and even Hilbert Manderville. And that doesn't include the amount of side series and spin-offs that have basically involved been linked with Final Fantasy. I mean, what about Tactics, Crystal Chronicles, Bravely Default? I mean, heck, you could even include Kingdom Hearts, The World Ends With You, and Octopath Traveler. And that's not even including the amount of locations that could serve as battlegrounds, locations, or even in stages that each chapter could be on. Honestly, if there's ever a franchise that really fits the mold as a big title for an eventual Warriors spin-off, it's Final Fantasy and its surrounding areas. That really does say a lot. Right. That being said, those are what I believe would be the top 10 potential Warrior spin-offs. Like, comment, subscribe, join my Patreon if you want to. I'm not... Again, if you don't have the means to do so, that's good too. Just take care of yourself. Then if you have enough, join my Patreon. And with that being said, Next week, we're gonna be doing a little bit of an early kiss-off to winter. See you next time.